Hey YouTubers, this is Olga talking about soul purpose, my most favorite topic in the whole wide world. And okay, so let's just talk about this real quick. Two main reasons why people don't go after what they want, okay? These might sound like really basic to you, they probably are, but I just wanted to dig a little bit deeper into them. And I think it's really important to be aware of them because they're kind of like just those little obstacles, well, not little, not so little, but there are obstacles that might be preventing you from doing what it is that you really love. And by the way, before I even do this, I wanted to clarify that by soul purpose, I don't necessarily mean soul purpose in terms of a career, but mostly it is in terms of a career. Okay, like maybe this is just me being like having like Western oriented thinking or whatever, but I feel like it's really important to talk about it in terms of a career because career takes so much of our time and effort and energy. And I just feel like, what the hell? Like, why can't you earn a living doing something that you love, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so for this purpose, for the purpose of this audio, I just wanted to talk about it as it relates to a career. Okay. So basically, the two main reasons I think that people don't go after what it is that their soul like really longs for is number one, they don't know exactly what it is they want to do, which might sound kind of like crazy from one side, okay? Because you're like, how can I like not know what I want? But I feel like in our day and age, it's almost like an epidemic. It's so weird because I keep finding people, especially like my age, my generation, that have no idea what they truly like. They're just kind of like lost because the thing is that like nobody ever taught them to pay attention to what it is that they really love to do, what it is that they're like really good at, like what is it that your soul aches for? Like how often have you been asked this question in your life? Probably not a lot, okay? And so no wonder that like by the time we're like 20, 30, whatever, we all of a sudden find ourselves wondering, what the hell do I even want in this life? So I think the more clear you become about that, and you have to like really put some effort into this. It's funny because like when we're kids, we don't even think about it. We just go for it. We play, we have fun, it feels good, it feels natural. Like if only we could dedicate the same energy and excitement to our adult lives. Like can you imagine how different this world would be? It would be just incredible, I think. So there's really not a good reason why it shouldn't be that way, but it's not. And I just really would love to change that even a little bit, even with my tiny little impact. So I think in order to understand what it is that you want to do, you have to be, well, first of all, okay, you have to be really clear about knowing what you don't want to do. And this is where all of those like ridiculous, like torturous experiences come in of you working. Well, okay, I guess in this case, I'm talking about myself. Working jobs that you kind of like hate. Like, seriously, I don't like to use that word, it's very strong, but I just can't find a different word to explain how I feel about jobs like that, where you just kind of feel like your soul is drained, your energy is drained, everything sucks, you just question your life, yourself, everything around you. Like, is this really what this is all for? Like, what it's all about? Why the hell do I even live in this world if I'm gonna be stuck at this stupid job? Blah, blah, blah. So I can like relate 1000%. Okay, been there, done that, got a t-shirt. And it's really not fun. It's a you can get like really miserable up to a point where like in my case it was like it truly affected my health in like a myriad of ways. And I just, not just my mental health but my physical health. I mean, no wonder, like if you're living like this every day in and day out, of course you're gonna feel like shit. So yeah, so there's that. But at the same time, those experiences make you realize exactly what you don't want. Like, for instance, for me, I realized that a 9 to 5 lifestyle is like my worst nightmare because I'm an owl, I'm a night person. I hate the whole like, okay, let's get up at 6 a.m. and just like do the shit for the next 8 or more hours that you can't even stand. And your whole day is just wasted on that. And then you come home, you're exhausted. All you want to do is like eat and sleep, and just you can't believe that the next day you're going to have to do it all over again. It sucks, right? Like, oh my God, who wants that? And so not even just from a point of view of an employee, but an employer. Like who would want an employee working at your job that, and you just know that they like hate it. It's like really difficult for them. They're just like making themselves do it. They don't enjoy it. Yeah, I mean it's like a lose-lose for both sides of the party. I guess for both parties is what I meant to say. So, it kind of made me realize, okay, 9 to 5, definitely not my thing. When some people love structure, they're just like, oh my God, this is perfect. Like, I know exactly what's going to be waiting for me that day. Like, I'm just going to wake up at this hour and then go here and then come back at this hour. Perfect. Whatever works for you, that's awesome. If anything, that makes it easier, because that's what most jobs are like in our world today. And so, for me, like flexibility is super important, not being stuck like 9 to 5, and not even having to like come into the office every single day and just being like micromanaged and everybody sees what's on your computer, and God forbid you decided to check your email that second. So it's things like that, okay? They make you realize, I hate that. And so what's the opposite of that? Like, what do I really want? And the more clear you become on that, the easier it's gonna eventually get to understand like what should I be like going for? What am I striving for? What is it that's like inside of my soul and like waiting to come out? And I know I have it, because here's the thing, like if you're listening to this right now, that should be your main sign that you do have that something within your soul that's like really asking to come out. And it's just like, dude, come on, like you got this, you can do this. Is basically like your higher self like speaking to you, you know what I mean, through me in this instance. But it happens all the time if you start paying attention, like you pay attention to the signs around you, to all the people, all the conversations. All of a sudden you're gonna start like noticing more and more synchronicities, more and more signs from the universe. And I guess it takes a while, especially if you're one of those people who doesn't like necessarily believe in science, or you're just like questioning everything all the time. It takes a while to kind of like accept it as truth. But I feel like the sooner you accept it, the better for you, because basically you're gonna be like, okay, you know what? Just guide me. Just like let's just do this already. Like I'm exhausted from like trying to live this life that's not really me anymore. It's not authentic. And the funny thing is, like, maybe you're in a situation where your work is not that bad. Like, I feel like for me, it was like horrible, just all those jobs. And I'm just like, maybe it's gonna get easier with the next one. Maybe I'm just being like, I don't know, like spoiled and over analytical or whatever. But at the end of the day, I was always like, no, you know what? That's not it. It's just not my thing. It's just not what my soul came here to do. And that's it. And I remember, I think it was like, I mean, I know it was Oprah who said this, but I don't remember exactly where she said it. It was like a talk that she gave for like Harvard or something like that. And it really stuck with me. This phrase that she said. She basically said that if you don't know what your purpose is. Okay, here I even found this quote just so I don't sound like an idiot. She basically said, everybody has a calling, and your real job in life is to figure out as soon as possible what that is, who you were meant to be, and to begin to honor that in the best way possible for yourself. Boo, yakasha. Like how, I mean, how awesome is that? And this is like not just some random person, talking about like, oh, like it would be great to find your calling. This is somebody who is self-made. She's incredibly successful. Like everyone knows about her around the globe for a reason, like in the best way possible. And she like really knows what she's talking about, basically. So I don't know about you, but I trust that. I trust that quote. I trust Oprah. So yeah, so figuring out exactly what you want to do is like your number one responsibility. It's not just a matter of like, oh, that would be nice. No, like you have to basically do it. I'm sorry if that's like bad news, but you gotta do it. And so what I was gonna say is that like maybe in your case, your job is not horrible. Maybe it's actually quite comfortable. Maybe you're doing something that you're not that bad at, like, and you're fine. People are like happy with what you're doing, but you're not. And that's all that matters. Like there was another quote I remember, I don't even know who said it, but it basically said that like just because it chose you doesn't mean you have to choose it. Okay, so like just because you're good at something, it doesn't, I mean, that's great. You can use those skills in whatever other way that you enjoy or that is helpful, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this is like your life purpose for the rest of your life. And actually, like one of those examples is one of my friends who was a hairstylist for the longest time, like for I think it was almost like a decade, and she was excellent at it. I mean, she's so good at hair, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, like you're so amazing." It's pretty good money. Like, I mean, nothing to complain about. Everything is like happening. Everything's great, but it just really wasn't her thing deep inside. Like, she was always kind of like, "Yeah, I don't know if I want to do this." And everybody was like, "What? Are you crazy? You're so good at it." That's not really necessarily an indication. Again, okay, just want to point that out. So like, don't feel guilty if you're good at something and everybody's like, well, obviously then this is what you have to do. No, because the thing is that like, if you're good at that stuff, whatever it is, you're probably going to be even better at whatever it is that you want to do, that your heart like aches for. Okay, there's just, you just, I guess, okay, this is where number two reason of why people don't follow their soul purpose comes in. It's because people don't believe deep inside that they have what it takes: the talent, the money, the skills, maybe even the time. Okay, like everybody's busy nowadays, nobody's got time for nothing, ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so like the truth is that like maybe you are in a situation where you're like, well, I mean, should I even like change anything? Like this is fine. It's been working okay. Like sure, I'm not like ecstatic about it, but who is? And the truth is that no, dude. I'm sorry, like you did not come here to live a shitty like mediocre life. You came here to try to make the best life possible for yourself, maybe for others. And I strongly believe that like when it comes to your soul purpose, it's not just about you, okay? There's like a huge aspect of it that includes other people. It's your service to the world. There's, it's basically like 50-50. 50% of it is like you being happy and fulfilled and like doing something that you love, and you're just like, oh, I would do this for free sometimes. And the other part of it is like, hey, how can I help? How can I serve? How can I make others' lives better? How can I make our earth better? Like, how can I make a contribution to this world? Okay, so it's not just like, in a way, I don't want to like guilt trip anybody, but I'm just saying, like, in a way, if you're not fulfilling your purpose, you're kind of like ignoring all the people that you could be helping, basically. Or not even necessarily people, maybe it's animals, maybe it's the ecology, maybe it's the earth, who knows, right? Like, it's just whatever is inside of you that's like waiting for this to happen and is excited about it. And you literally feel like, oh my god, I would just do this for free. I would wake up excited about this. Okay, versus like you waking up and be like, okay, well, here comes another day. So that's kind of like, I guess that's the main thing I wanted to talk about. And I just wanted you to know that whatever it is that you think that you don't have for this to happen, for you to really fulfill and live your soul purpose, I'm not saying it's bullshit necessarily. I'm sure there are like very real reasons, and you would get like really upset if I was like, yeah, that's bullshit. But just question your beliefs. That's all I want to encourage you to do. Just question your fears, your obstacles, your deep beliefs that, like, for instance, if you're a writer, you want to write and you're like, okay, like if I'm gonna write, I'm gonna starve. Nobody like wants another writer, blah blah blah. Everybody's written like 50,000 books about this already. Like, who needs my opinion? You have no idea, okay? Until you do it, until you start at least doing it, who knows? You know what I mean? And it, like, can you imagine if everyone, whoever has done something substantial, before they did it, they would be like, I don't know, like this has been done before, so like why if I do it, like it's not gonna make a difference. Like plus, you know what? Like it's gonna take too much effort and time. I don't have it. Can you imagine like if that was everyone, then like I think we would just like die out slowly but surely, maybe not even slowly, because the world needs you. I mean, come on, if you believe that you're a soul that came into this world with a purpose, which I really hope you do, otherwise you probably wouldn't be listening to this. I mean, that means you have a soul and it has a purpose, okay? And you have a purpose and you can't ignore that. You can for as long as you want to, but it's gonna be uncomfortable, it's gonna be unnecessary, it's gonna be messed up, and at some point, maybe not even now, maybe in a year, maybe in two, whatever, at some point you're gonna be like, man, you know what, like I can't. I guess like for some people it has to get to the point where they can't like live like that anymore, and they literally are just like, I need to completely change my life. Otherwise I'm just gonna, you know, die here. Oh, wow, this got like really depressing all of a sudden. But anyways, I guess my point was that I actually like really wanted you to be encouraged and to really question all of the reasons why not. Okay, like why not do this? And think about all the reasons why, and keep in mind that a lot of those reasons you don't even know yet. Like you have no idea who you're going to be helping, how much you're going to be helping them, how much you're going to be changing their lives, and all that good stuff. Okay, so like even, I don't know, if not for yourself, do this for others, I guess. Like, I mean, it should be for yourself and for others, but please consider all of those things that I said. And I'm actually working on a program right now to kind of like help people become more clear about what they want to do, about their soul purpose, all that good stuff. And I don't know, it's all kind of in progress, but those are basically the two things that I feel like everyone needs to really think about before they like jump into anything. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I would be happy to answer any like questions or comments you might have, and I wish you an awesome day and an awesome life, and I hope your soul really lives out its purpose that it came here to live out in this um, physical realm. Love you guys. Bye.